studio microphone script. A conviction could put Hank behind bars for as long as 10 years. That's no small matter. These are serious criminal allegations now closing in on him. Johnny is broke. Ramsey is broke. Both of them have been leaning almost entirely on Hank, not just for money, but also for housing, support, and even legal help. By all accounts, Hank has been the one keeping them afloat, paying the bills, and covering the costs they couldn't handle. Most of the official charges land squarely on Johnny, not Hank. But Hank's involvement in logistics and his presence during several incidents has finally caught up with him. That's right. Hank himself could now be facing the fallout from his ties to Johnny Somali. The reality? Both men may be looking at real prison time. Imagine the next headline reading, "Hank on trial, not just for Johnny Somali's crimes, but for his own." Surprising? Maybe not. South Korean prosecutors are now examining Hank's alleged role. In this video, we'll break down why Hank is under investigation and why prison time may now be a very real possibility. And later, I'll share something even more shocking: how Hank inserted himself into the Vitaly Zadaretsky case by insulting and ridiculing the Philippines. Experts confirm that Johnny Somali is already facing 8 criminal charges, with more investigations ongoing. Some charges have even been reopened, meaning he could be dragged into multiple trials. And if prosecutors push further, Ramsey may face a separate trial of his own. But here's the twist. It's not just Johnny Somali under intense scrutiny. Hank may be held responsible for enabling him every step of the way. Legal analysts argue that Hank wasn't just a bystander. He supplied Johnny with the tools and resources to keep going. A place to live, streaming equipment, phones, alcohol, even legal defense. Hank became Johnny's lifeline. As one legal commentator explained, Hank was the main influence behind Johnny's reckless action. If prosecutors bring new charges, Hank won't just be covering Johnny's bills. He'll be forced to cover his own defense as well. And that could financially destroy him. And that's not all. Investigators are now digging into alleged conversations between Hank, Johnny, and minors. If those allegations hold up, Hank could face up to 10 years in prison, a devastating penalty that could decide his future. At one point, Hank even admitted that if Johnny went to jail, he'd flee South Korea and move to China. But if these charges stick, there will be no escape. Instead, Hank could find himself locked up in a South Korean prison, right alongside Johnny Somali. Reports also suggest Hank pressured Johnny's lawyer through family connections, because if Johnny pleaded guilty, Hank's name would inevitably come out. On top of that, Hank has mocked South Korean authorities in public, accusing them of unfair, malicious prosecution. If the courts see this as contempt and disrespect, they may decide to hit him with the harshest sentence possible. Now here's the shocking part. Hank might still slip away. If prosecutors decide the evidence points more clearly at Johnny, Hank could walk free by shifting all the blame onto him. But make no mistake, Hank's involvement is all over this case. For years, he understood South Korean law better than Johnny did, and allegedly pushed him into criminal activity while believing he'd never face consequences himself. That plan worked for a while, until evidence started surfacing that placed Hank at crime scenes with Johnny. And then there are Hank's outrageous comments about the Philippines. When asked about Vitaly Zadaretsky's situation, Hank mocked the entire country, calling a joke and dismissing its culture and history. For South Korean authorities, this wasn't just offensive. It damaged the country's reputation and revealed Hank openly siding with criminal streamers while belittling another nation. If someone like Hank escapes justice, the legal system itself begins to look like a joke. His actions show a clear pattern of disrespect, manipulation, and criminal behavior. And now, the threat of serious jail time has never been closer. So what do you think? Should Hank face the full 10-year sentence that legal experts warn about? Or will he somehow shift everything onto Johnny Somali and slip away, maybe even running off to China? Share your thoughts in the comments below.